What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. We are going on with another detachment breakdown. Today, we finally got the Votann. I'm very excited. It's a pretty good attachment. I'm not sure if it's better than the first detachment because there is just so much good stuff in there. The army itself is what limits it from doing stuff. So, yeah. But this detachment, oh, God. I think I just came. So, we have Hearthband. Before we get into this, make sure to thunderhammer that like, subscribe, and bell icon. Leave a comment, check out our other videos, and check out the second channel, the other channel, where I have Let's Plays and a discussion about Sisters of Battle, and there's going to be more stuff eventually, and you should subscribe. So, this is what we got. Detachment rule. Methodical annihilation. I like the sound of that. Whoa, what was that? I don't know, I don't care. Each time a Leagues of Votann model from your army makes an attack with a weapon, excluding blast weapons, that targets the closest eligible target or targets a unit that is within engagement range, the following things happen. Reroll a hit roll of 1. So army-wide, reroll hit rolls of 1. For a faction that hits on 4s normally, and then 3s when you have judgment tokens, that's pretty good. Then, if your unit is a Call, Einhir, Hearthguard, or Uthar the Destined, improve the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. So all of your Terminators, I don't know if it applies to, so it says if your unit is a Call, if you have a Call attached to a unit, is that a Call unit? I don't know. But either way, your Terminator squads get +1 AP. As long as they target the closest thing, and reroll 1s. They already hit on 3s without judgment tokens. When they're hitting on 2s, they get full rerolls to hit, and then they get +1 AP. That seems good. It seems really good. That's what we get for our detachment rule. It's just good. It's not like the guard one, where rerolling 1s isn't that good, because the stuff that they want it on already rerolls 1s, or rerolls full hits. This just applies to your whole army, reroll hits. This applies to your Sagittars, this applies to your land fortresses, this applies to just everything in your army. Your Berserker guys in combat, they hit on 4s with their hammers. Now they hit on 4s with rerolls 1s. Pretty good. So yeah, alright, so then we got some enhancements. First one is 25 points. It is the Bastion Shield. Leagues of Votann model only. Each time a ranged attack targets the bearer's unit, if the attacking model is within 12 inches of the bearer, worsen the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. So, I don't love the fact that it's restricted to be within 12 inches, but a lot of the stuff in your army generally wants to be close, because when you're the closest thing, you get +1 AP if you're the Terminators. And you have like deep strikes within 6-inch stratagems and some other stuff. So this detachment is incentivizing you to get close. Permanent Armor of Contempt if you get close. And in case you guys didn't know, Armor of Contempt was changed in the latest balanced data slate to only affect one unit that is shooting at you. So if you have a Land Raider and it's got like 3 railguns shooting at it, you cannot get armor. It's a terrible example because they just cut through it anyway, but you get what I'm saying. You cannot get Armor of Contempt against all 3 railguns. You can only get Armor of Contempt against one thing now, so the first railgun, and then the other 2, they ignore it. So this is permanent Armor of Contempt as long as you're targeting the unit within 12 inches. It's not always going to be there because you're going to have people that they're over 12 inches away because they want to stay away, and then they shoot at you anyway. So it's not always going to be in effect. For 25 points though, that's pretty good. That's less than 3 points a model to have basically Armor of Contempt within 12 inches at all times. So, well, for ranged attacks only. I just looked. It is ranged attacks only. Sometimes I'll read these and not fully comprehend them, and I have to read them again because I'm a human. Quake Multi-Generators is the next one for 15 points. Call model only. In your shooting phase, after the bearer has shot, select one enemy unit, excluding Titanic units, hit by 1 or more of those attacks. Until the start of your next turn, that enemy unit is suppressed. While they're suppressed, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Very, very good. You just pick a unit, they're -1 to hit. Shooting and combat for the remainder of their turn, basically. You can make a -1 to hit for 15 points. I don't hate that at all. You have like the Call, shoot somewhere else, and have all the Hearthguard shoot somewhere else. And then the Call's like, yo, dude over there, you're -1 to hit. Just the whole unit, -1 to hit for the end, till the end of the turn. So that is pretty good. So yeah, until the start of your next turn. So in their turn, they're -1 to hit. Otherwise, this would be completely useless. The next one is Iron Skin. They gotta spell it weird because they're dwarves. 10 points. It's bad. Add 2 to the wound characteristics of the bearer. Nah. For 10 points, it's fine. You know, it's 5 points per wound. But you're not gonna take that. Then you have the high call model only. Each time a model in the bear's unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if it has not fought this phase, roll a d6 on a 4+, do not remove it from play. The destroyed model can fight after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, and then it's removed from play. 30 points for a 4-up fights on death. It's better than having a stratagem for it, because then you're spending your CP resources. This is just something you have all the time. I don't love it though for 30 points. It is pretty expensive, and you know, half the time it's not going to matter too much because they're going to just shoot you off the table, even though those units are difficult to take down with shooting. But they're only difficult to take down with shooting when you have Armor of Contempt, which you don't have anymore. But we have something else. So let's get to our stratagems. Why is my computer loading? What's happening? I don't know. So the first one is Breckenauts. 1 CP. I think that's how you say it. I don't care if that's wrong. That's how I'm going to say it. I have passed the point of giving a shit anymore. Your opponent's shooting phase, or the fight phase, just after an enemy unit selects its target, you target a Call, Uthar, or Einhir Hearthguard unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacks. Until the end of the phase, models in your unit have a 4-up invulnerable save. Hell yeah. Sometimes people will get you to your invuln, and this also works in combat, so sometimes people will get you to your invuln of 5-up, and you don't make those very often. You only have 2 wounds apiece on your dudes. So having a 4-up invuln, that'll go a long way in protecting your guys. It's like a 16% more dudes will live when they have a 4-up invuln compared to a 5-up invuln. You probably still take the 5-up invuln, but this is very nice to make you even more durable. And if you're just spamming Terminators, which are a ridiculous unit, by the way, go watch that video. Yeah, having a 4-up invuln on just different selected units every turn. Like one of them could have a 4-up invuln, one of them can have Armor of Contempt within 12 inches. So, pretty good stuff. Shore of Purpose is the next one for 1 CP. It's in the fight phase. You target a Leagues of Votann unit from your army that has not been selected to fight. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a pile-in or consolidation move, it can just auto-move 6 inches instead of 3 inches. This is pretty good, because the unit is pretty big, so it's pretty easy to like spread the unit out and charge multiple things, as long as you stay in coherency. And I'll have to make this damn tips and tricks video about combat and the crazy stuff you can do there. But being able to move an additional 6 inches is really, really good, because I'm combining the two together, because it's both. So you consolidate up to 6, and then you pile in, or whichever one happens first. I can never remember, even though I've been playing this game for like 20 years. So yeah, you get an extra 6 inches of movement, and that can really get you into the things that you want to be swinging on. Or you can just be piling into something that didn't want to be in combat, or consolidating. Consolidating into something that didn't want to be in combat because it's over 4 inches away normally. Well, now if you're moving 6 inches, you're getting there, as long as you can stay in coherency and stuff. So not amazing, but not bad at all. I like ones that are automatically 6 inches. I do like those stratagems. Superior Craftsmanship, 2 CP, fight phase only. You target a Leagues of Votann unit from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase until the end of the phase. Each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets a monster or a vehicle unit, add 1 to the damage characteristic. Whew. Okay, so now all of our concussion gauntlets and all of our hammers that the one guy has, they are now damage 3. Is this better than having +2 AP against the target? I'm not sure. I don't think so. When you can be AP, I guess against certain things, it depends. So if you have a 4-up invuln, for example, well, becoming AP4 isn't very important at that point, because nothing happens. Like, it still has a 4-up invuln. Being +1 damage, though, getting 3 damage on those Einhir concussion gauntlet things, that seems pretty good. Or you can use this on anything. It's any Leagues of Votann unit. You could just casually be putting this on the Chthonian Berserks and have flat 4 damage hammers. If they have 2 judgment tokens on the unit that you're swinging on, yeah, that's gonna hit really hard. 5 of those is 15 attacks, rerolling 1s because the whole army gets that. +1 to hit, so you're hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, +1 to wound, so you're wounding on 4s or 3s, depending on, you're probably hitting a big target at that point. But the important thing there is flat 4 damage. You only need to get 3 of them through to do 12 damage to something. Like, seems like that's probably pretty good. It is 2 CP though. So I'm just not sure if it's better or worse than getting +2 AP, because that's only good in certain situations. But yeah, it's really, really good. Just having a 10-man brick of Einhir Hearthguard shooting a billion shots at you and just annihilating a unit, and then doing this and being 3 damage apiece. If they're +1 to hit and +1 to wound, they just all hit because they hit on 2s. So that's just 18 hits if you're not including the hammer sergeant guy. Just straight 18 hits, 3 of them ish will be lethals. So the other 15, hopefully you're +1 to wound. Call it 14. That's 7 wounds at AP2, flat 3 damage. Seems good. Is it worth 2 CP? Probably not, but now it only affects monsters and vehicles. So yeah, if you're like attacking a unit of like Terminators or something, unfortunately, it's not going to have any effect there, and you're not going to be one-shotting Terminators with this stratagem. So that is one unfortunate bit about it. The more I think about it, the more I think I like +2 AP more, because being +1 to hit and +1 to wound, and then being AP4, the fact that you're 2 damage in a lot of cases, it doesn't matter at that point, because so many of them will hit and so many of them will wound, and they'll just go through your armor save. So either way, superior craftsmanship, hell yeah. Unyielding aggression, 1 CP. Your movement phase just after a Leagues of Votann unit from your army falls back. You target that unit until the end of the turn. Your unit is eligible to shoot and declare charge in the turn in which it fell back. So this is the same thing that we have in the original detachment. I think it's Ordered Retreat is what it's called. So Unyielding Aggression, Ordered Retreat, they do the exact same thing. Fall back, shoot, and charge. I use it almost every game that I play Leagues of Votann. Someone charges into this 10-man brick, they only kill like 4 of them because they're like, wait, I'm -1 to wound, and then Armor of Contempt happens, and you're just like, yeah, you killed like 4 of them with your entire squad of guys. Now I'm going to fall back, and I'm going to just blast that unit off the table, and then I'm going to charge over here. Oh, and I'm going to give him +2 AP. Yeah, this very, very strong. Next is Materialization Matrices. 1 CP, reinforcement step of your movement phase. Target a Leagues of Votann unit from your army that's in reserve and has the Deep Strike ability until the end of the phase. When your unit is set up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, it can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. It can't declare a charge. So, like I was saying previously, this detachment incentivizes you to want to get close to things, because if you're shooting the closest target, +1 AP. Or if you're in combat with the closest target, +1 AP. If people are within 12 inches of you, you have Armor of Contempt. There's a rapid fire strat beneath this that we'll get to in a moment. So like, it wants you to be close, and it wants you to be blowing shit up that way. So our last one here is Fury of the Hearth, 1 CP, your shooting phase, specifically on Einhir Hearthguard units from your army that have not been selected to shoot this phase. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons excluding Blast. Did it really need to exclude Blast? Probably not. But non-blast weapons equipped by models in your unit have rapid fire 1. So my immediate thought is that this probably makes your plasma guns actually really good, because that's 22 shots if you have a call included there, hitting on 2s with rerolls most likely, +1 to wound, hopefully, you know, maybe not, maybe so, but yeah, +1 to wound, we'll say 20 shots. They have lethal hits, 22 shots with lethal hits. That's 3 automatic hits, 3 automatic wounds. Then they're +1 to wound at AP more potentially if it's the closest target, so like AP4, and then have rapid fire, because that's what gave me extra shots. I'm kind of like over-explaining all these, but yeah, it's because I'm excited, because this is one of the armies that I've been playing the most in 10th edition. I have so many factions, guys, and I'm going to do a showcase video for each one. I don't even know off the top of my head how many I have, but it's at least 10 different factions, and they're like full amounts of stuff. So, Votann is the faction that I've been playing with the most in this edition, just because I really like them, and they're not, like, super insanely overpowered like they were last edition. They're a little bit more balanced in this edition, and they really do lack some things. They're not great at preventing deep strikes, like, within 3 inches and 6 inches, now that you can't do 3 inches. They're not good at, like, doing that kind of stuff. They don't have anything that, like, prevents deep striking. Their units are a little hard to play with, because they might have a little bit higher toughness, but their saves aren't always great, unless you're talking like a Land Fortress or Einhir, which this detachment is basically, it should have just been called like Einhir Win. But yeah, so long way of saying that I've been playing Votann the most in this edition, and this is very exciting for me, because this is my army. So, what do I think? I think it's really good. I think it's really, really good. I think if you just take a bunch of Einhir Hearthguard, which you're already doing anyway in most lists, they become very, very good. Now, do I think that this is better than the original detachment? I have not decided at the time of recording if I think the original detachment is better. The original detachment allows you to pick 4 enemy units at the start of the game. They just start with 2 judgment tokens, and if you destroy those units, you get extra CP. you have access to a shoot back stratagem. It is 2 CP, but it's the only restriction is that the opponent shot you. None of your stuff has to die. Like, you don't have to be below half or anything like that. It's just, you shot me, you're done. I'm now gonna shoot 10 Hearthguard back at you, and you actually weren't gonna shoot me, because I'll just be like, hey, do you wanna just not shoot me because that's gonna die? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, cool, that works for me too. So you have access to that. You have sustained hits too. You have Armor of Contempt. You have +2 AP as long as they have judgment tokens. It's +1 or +2, depending on how many judgment tokens they have. You have fallback, shoot, and charge. And then you have some completely useless one that I don't think I've ever used. It's like if your unit gets damaged, you can like put a judgment token on the unit that did it. And like if your warlord was in the unit, you can like do its second one or something like that. I've never used that stratagem. But being able to get the extra CP is really, really important in that detachment, just in general, because they have a lot of stratagems that are really good. It has Armor of Contempt, which is still useful, especially in combat, because it only targets 1 unit now. So that's pretty good in combat. That might be better than having a 4-up invul, and I'll have to like do the math when I'm not recording myself. There's an enhancer that lets you ignore all modifiers, like all modifiers. So that's really, really good on your plasma guns. And then you have the long list, which lets you pick an objective marker your opponent controls, and anything on it counts as having an additional judgment token. It makes the army reliable. Like, you don't really need the reroll ones in that case, because it takes your army from hitting on 4s to hitting on 3s, which is a significant damage boost. And then plus all the strats that you have that are really useful. So this army really wants you to play in a certain way, and it's really, really good. I'm going to try it out, and I'm going to see. I might even do a battle report if anybody can. If anybody ever wants to do one again, like my gaming group, we all live in different states. We all have lives, and some of them have kids and stuff, so it's hard to schedule those sometimes. But I would really like to get a battle report on the channel where I'm playing this, because I have some interesting ideas here. But I don't know if it's better. I just think it's really, really good. I think they're both really, really good. And that's it. So that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully it was short and sweet. I probably said that in every video, and they're always like over 10 minutes long, and they shouldn't be somehow. So that's it. If you guys liked the video, Thunderhammer that like and subscribe button, hit Nurgle's bell, check out our other videos, leave a comment, and then check out the second channel where I do video game stuff. And that's it. So thanks for watching, as always, guys. You really are the best. I know sometimes I'm a little like wild and crazy and bombastic, but if I'm being serious, you guys are the absolute best, and I really appreciate you guys watching my content. I have so much to say. I could make a whole video just thanking you guys. So I'm just going to say theory hard, and I'll see you back at the lab.